Good evening. This is Dr. Deepak Vaikar. I am recording my presentation for uh, 17 November session because today I had a booster dose and I hope everything will be okay. In the event there is some issue, Sridhar will play this video. Enhancing clean and green learning spaces in and around campus. Swachh aur Hara Bhara Adhyan Parisars. Okay. I'm very happy to share with you some of my views today on special topic smart, clean, and green energy future. Akshay Urja Gyan Yagya. Okay. Let us begin with a prayer to Goddess Saraswati. Om Saraswati Namastupyam Varde Kam Rupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay. Agenda for today. Introduction almost has been done. Development dilemma, innovations and technological challenges, smart, clean and green energy future, summary and conclusions. So this will be the agenda for today. Let me share with you. I think those who are not yet accepted your Canvas request, please do so. There are 4 of them who are not done so, and by next week you are supposed to submit your assignment. So please submit your assignment. Introduction has been done. What are the challenges? Okay. Now, as I mentioned last time, now visualize that each one of you have decided to focus on one of the specific potential opportunities to take up smart, clean, and green related projects. It could be faculty project, student project, a research project, funded project, industry project. You are going to decide about it and prepare a research proposal. If you are not done so, prepare research proposal, technical case study or an article and more. Reason being, we are going to give you opportunity to present it, submit and present it at the IUCEE mini symposium on smart, clean and green sustainability. And what you're going to do, you're going to share the good practices, challenges, innovations, lessons learned, and prepare actionable blueprint, roadmap, or framework as applicable. Choice is yours. You can have institutional project presented here. You can have individual case studies. Okay, we have put the potential theme as practice, share, and adapt. It is a 2-day mini symposium. Dates have been decided. It is on 5th of February, Saturday, and 6th of February, Sunday, 2022. So more than three months are there. And I have made the announcement to you. Professor Krishna is going to make announcement to everybody for call for article, case studies, project reports, feasibility reports, institutional reports, and you will have almost 1 month to finalize that. 27th of December is the submission deadline. Okay, timeline due on 27th December 2021. Then we will go through the review, and those who are accepted will be informed on 10th of January 2022. All authors have to register. Authors, co-authors, if you want your case study article to be included into the e-booklet of IUCE. So by 15th of January, all authors must. Then and then we can schedule it. Whereas those those who just want to participate without any article, case studies, project reports, they are 3rd February to register. So all the best. Okay. And as I mentioned last time, there are 7 tracks. You can choose your specialty: energy management, water management, sanitation and waste management, clean and renewable energy. The topic we are going to focus today, we already got energy management, water management topics. Environmental protection will be coming, sustainable technologies, smart, clean and green education and training. If you have included that into your curriculum, these are the sub-tracks under energy management, energy conservation, energy efficiency, energy policy, and audit. So whatever you follow, follow us and another session from Dr. Ajay, then you can already write it. for water management, water conservation, water efficiency, water harvesting, recharging, whatever you feel applicable. If you have done some research, your student projects, and you feel you can, it is a case to be studied for the campus clean and green initiatives, please do so. Sanitation and waste management. Okay, if you have done your own research or your campus, both. Okay, we'll accept both. Sewage treatment, solid waste management, toxic and hazardous waste management, clean and clean and renewable energy. You have got solar, wind, hydro. Obviously, the conventional one, they are geothermal, tidal, waste to energy, and green hydrogen. Some of the things we are going to discuss today, and some of the things will be discussed by Gaurav. So you can use that one. Environmental protection, air, water, soil, noise, pollution, green coverage, green audit, green governance. ISO 14,000. If you had, okay, any article on that one, your studies. Okay, we want your studies, your case studies, your research, your students' research, and sustainable technology like hybrid and electric vehicles, green technology, green building, uh, and under education, if you are included these into your curriculum, what was your experience? How you did it, and what is it happening now? Are the student how the students are taking it? Community service. Are your students involved in community service, doing some of these activities related to any of these the tracks? Internship, entrepreneurship, whatever you feel, then these are recommended one. If you put your articles in this area, chances of acceptance are high. But if something related to this is there, we will still accept it. Okay, around 7 pages of maximum article consisting of current status, reasons for adoption, innovations, lessons learned, current challenges and future. And we plan to select parallel and panel session from the selected reports submissions here. Okay, selected case studies, articles, project reports can be further reviewed, edited, and published as a special e-booklet under the RUCEE Foundation banner. So this is what we are planning, and we are getting ISN numbers. Once we get it, that will be mentioned. So this is in summary. Okay, we are looking forward for you to submit your article. You are getting training under this faculty development program, so that first, at least one thing you can do outcome you can see is your articles, case study, project reports, which can be included into this mini symposium and present it. We are also going to give you a chance to how to present here also, okay, during this program. Okay, so this was the introduction done. Now, all of you know, just recently United Nations completed climate change COP 2026 in Glasgow, UK, and they say nearly 200 nations clinched imperfect but vital climate deal. Key goal was to accelerate efforts to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees centigrade. Okay, pre-industrial level. So we do not want, they say, do not want the Earth temperature to rise beyond 1.5 degrees centigrade. And the benchmark is pre-industrial level. World has already warmed up to 1.4 degree, they say. Now only 0.4 is there. Therefore, if you are doing research in this area, it will be a lot of demand. You might get funding for that. But all of us know that this coronomics, corona affected us upside down, but not okay. So what we can do about it? And I think around 2 weeks back, and yeah, last week also I shared with you, doctors, scientists are saying that whose lungs are weak and why lungs are weak. Well, one of the reason could be medical one, but other is environmental, our lifestyle. You know, our lungs are getting affected, and that is because of hazardous air. You must be now reading in newspaper, watching on TV also about what is happening in New Delhi and around northern India, most part of the northern India. The air is in unhealthy, very unhealthy to sometimes it went hazardous zones. And this was not the first time, it has been happening for decades because okay, Verasic Maplecraft has done the research. 43 cities are in India, and therefore now something has to be done. A lot of research in this one because everybody says we want to go to normal before COVID 2019, 2019. They want to go 2019 or before And you know what was 2019? Now also is continuing. Okay, once we are now, they say people are starting businesses, and this back to the this is what is happening now, Northern America and Northern India, and power stations are humming, industries are humming, so you can see it, and kachra, garbage has been burned again. Obviously, yes, some of the solutions you say, okay, it doesn't matter whatever happened outside, not under our controls, inside home, inside our offices, inside in the school, inside your campuses, inside your classroom, inside your laboratory, can use either natural devices or nowadays uh, electrical devices are there which can purify air and give you cool air and take care of the impact of global warming, hot temperatures. And obviously, we have to also manage oxygen, okay, oximeters. All these are now we have to do using technology so that our health remains within acceptable range. And why it has been happening? Because for decades and decades, for last whole century, our goal has been to have a modern, luxurious lifestyle. Okay, and I mentioned about it. Still, geopolitical conflict happening, is wars are happening, population is rising more than 7.5 billion, and because for the transportation still dependent on oil, our addiction to oil. Okay, if that is the case, obviously they say uh, world is revolving around the three things. World is revolving around three things: energy, 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 urja, urja, urja. And that is where we are going to focus on. I think I mentioned to this one, like if we continue our business as usual and COP26 hasn't given us much hope, coal will be dominant for India, China, Australia, Indonesia, some of the Asian nations, as well as some European and American nations. Oil will be dominant for transportation and industry. Yes, natural gas, they say, is better than coal and oil. It reduces comparatively pollution, but it's still fossilized fuel one. And prices of oil, natural gas are going up, causing tremendous stress to the economy, inflation, all prices going on. And they say two-thirds of global greenhouse gas emissions are attributed to production and utilization of fossil energy. Yes, efforts are there, renewable energy is coming, but at very low pace, very low pace. Okay, so then what is it what we can do in the midst of dominance of fossil fuels, which is expected to continue because COP26 also did not make much difference. Then what is your feeling about the term smart, clean, and green energy? Such a Sundar Hari Urja. How do you feel about it? Okay, is your heart beating for it? Okay, smart, uh, widely used industry in management literature, widely used in management literature, specific, measurable, achievable, result oriented, time bound. They call it SMART. So we need SMART goals and objectives if you want to achieve something. And one of the ways they are saying is now let us move to electric public transportation. Okay, yes, train, metros, buses, electric buses. Almost most of the cities are now vying for the metros. They want metros. Now, obviously, and another very popular theme this time is everybody saying talking about electric vehicles. So electric vehicles consisting of lot of parts, but still expensive. So there is tremendous scope for do the research up here. And obviously, if you want to supply electricity to electric vehicle, we need to generate from power plants and then transmit it over the long transmission line, high voltage transmission line, come to power station, transformers, transformer drum, okay, whatever, and to various places and charging. So we need a network. Now question arises, okay, we want to say, so what happened is at the COP26, India's Environment and Climate Minister Bhupendra Yadav proposed new wording for the final COP26 agreement in which nations should escalate the phasing down of unabated coal power instead of previous they wanted to phase it out, and minister says no way, we will maybe phase it down, not phase out. It means coal-fired power stations will be continuing for a certain period, at least probably more than 2 decades. And necessity is mother of all of you know. Now, if the coal-fired power station are continuing for next 2 decades or 3 decades, because all what they are saying in this COP26, okay, they say by India say 2070 we will have net zero emission. American says 2050 net emission. China says 2060 will have net emission. So obviously it is now more than 20, 30 years from now, 30 years, more than okay, 30, 40, 50 years. So now till that time, what we do? We have to do something because this is necessity is mother of all of you can fill it up. So one of the ways to address this issue, they say use two technology. One is called clean coal technology, CCT. Other is called carbon capture and storage, CCS technology. Now, instead of coal burning in power station, what they say is first transform coal into gas, okay, through gasifier into syngas. Now, what they found that pollution, when you use gas, pollution is reduced by almost 70%, but 30% still emissions coming out, CO2 emission, pollution, all coming out. And then use the syngas in your thermal power stations to produce electricity. One is gas turbine, other is conventional power station. Now, obviously, still emissions are coming out from here. The emissions are not going, okay, exhaust gas is there, emissions are there. And this is according to World Coal Institute. And they also say, World Coal Institute say, okay, if you can capture this, okay, from power station, capture this gas, and even from oil rigs, okay, capture it and bury deep into the ground or ocean, whatever it is, then this CO2 can be used for extract methane from the coal. Okay, methane from coal, which is more, which can be then used for various purposes. Same thing they say, if you, this carbon can be used to release more oil. So as a result, we are going to reuse this carbon dioxide, but at the same time, we are burying it. Okay, so as a result, emissions will be, they say, they are hoping for emission to be reduced to greater extent. And okay, this technology at present is very expensive, so there is a tremendous scope for taking research project in this one. If you are interested, you can take project in this area. Okay, next 25, 30 years, definitely it is there because phasing out is 2070 in India. So till that time, existing power stations will be working 30 years and for new ones will be working 30 to 40 years. Existing will continue. So choice, if they say, okay, yes, you have a conventional power plant versus clean coal technology versus CCS. A, B. Put you in chat box which one you would recommend. Okay, conventional one or CCT plus CCS. Obviously, as I mentioned, there is tremendous scope here for research, student project, writing articles, getting what is it happening in and around your region. Because what is happening presently is coal is concentrated in few states and thermal power stations are located almost all over India. Then you have to transport coal. Okay, and it is transportation coal means it will be obviously releasing carbon dioxide and pollution in the air. At the same time, you have to use energy to transport it. Compared to that, transportation of electricity. So again, you can do a study, make a case study. Transportation of coal versus transportation of electricity. Use data, gather data for your state, for your okay, and you can publish a case study in our symposium. Is there a scope for hope, or am I talking pipe dream? Okay, put in chat box whatever you feel it. Now let me take you. Okay, all of you got registered to IUCC FTP, so you got e-pass. Board your flight. Follow all protocols. Your friendly pilot is taking you, and in your mind, we are going to go to the smart, clean, and green energy world virtually. In a fraction of a second, you are landed at one of the smart, eco-friendly airport, inside which there is a green transportation. So, and for those who need help for hand luggage, there is a robot there to transfer it using technology. Again, they are using latest technology to scan your passport and your biometrics for giving you verification of your visa. You arrive at your terminal here. Your luggage is automatically brought here, and we are waiting for you. Welcome to Smart, Clean, Green Island. Now, what happens is now, yes, once you are here, they say in your campus how you are going to make it smart, clean, and green campus. You are using say 100 units coming from thermal power station predominantly, and then most of them will say, okay, we have got 100 units coming from fossilized fuel current load. We want to replace it. All of you might say, okay, now let us replace it by clean and green energy. But all of us know why still coal is there, why still they are using natural gas, because cost of clean and green energy is still higher than fossilized energy electricity. And therefore, unless there is something coming up, if you immediately want to change 100 units by 100 clean and green, you have to invest more. And that is why most of them, they are saying, oh, do I have a payback period? How much to invest? Will I get back the money? How is it? How long will it take? And therefore, it is many of them postponed and postpone their decisions. And now, same thing will happen with if you do feasibility study and say, oh, all of the things are good, but economically, it is not affordable. Then what we should do? Well, according to World Energy Council, I had a privilege to work with them for almost 5 years as a vice chair, volunteer one. They say achieve energy efficiency in entire energy supply chain, generation, transmission, distribution, and utilization. Obviously, again, there is a scope to write a research paper on this one. Now, in your case, what will happen is if you're not producing is morely campus means your utilization of energy. So what they are saying is, suppose now 100 units we are having it. Before you think about just renewable and clean energy, first apply energy management systems. Okay, EMS, this energy management system, which helps organization to better manage their energy use, thus improving productivity. So apply energy management system, which is under ISO 50001. Okay, and okay, under ISO 50001 gives organization a recognized framework for developing an effective energy management system. Okay, I will be very happy to work with you if you want to develop this one. So what they see first part is energy conservation. I think Dr. Ajay will discuss more about it. So energy conservation is predominantly behavioral change, switch off lights, fans, when not whatever devices you say when not use, you switch off, and they say by behavioral change in your campus, you can reduce up to 15%. Okay, you can go up to 15% down. So your 100 units now new will be 85 units. Okay, 85 units. This is 85. Yes, all campuses, most of the campuses are using huge quantity of energy. Okay, whether it's air conditioned fan, motors, your classrooms and auditoriums, because now students are coming back, and in laboratory also you have got equipment which consumes electricity. Then if you have got maze and students are transported using some transportation system for which your contractor you pay for them. Obviously, students will pay for it, but still it is okay. And if you are using cars, tremendous amount of energy is used by the campus. And for last almost 1.5 years, 18 months, we have been using online. Now also we are using online. So online also consumes electricity online. Okay, I can tell you. Okay, now it may be small per head, but if billions of people are using it, it is huge quantity. What they say is, okay, you make effort for energy conservation. After that, go for energy efficiency. Energy efficiency requires engineering solution. Engineering solution means you will look at it and appropriately modify it. And they say there is the scope for another 25% saving by just using energy efficiency. Some cases up to 50 also. It depends on the factor. Okay. So total what happened is just apply energy conservation efficiency. Your load has reduced from 100 to 60. So you are paying. So you have got saving here. You are saving for 25% saving of electricity bill. And there is one device which is popularly used, it's called electric motor, induction motor, which consumes huge quantity of electricity all over the world. And if you can change from standard to energy efficient motors, there is a scope to improve efficiency and reduce losses. So energy efficient electric motors, which are used, even robots, they are used, pumps and lighting, you name it in your manufacturing, advanced manufacturing, there will be tremendous use of this one. So therefore, scope to use this one. Now, according to Martin Verrod, president of ABB Motion, in April 2021, energy efficiency is the world's invisible climate solution, because he found that as per their study, they found that electric motor consumes 45% of electricity globally. Okay, so doing the research in energy efficiency of electric motors is still a good topic for research, student project, and others. Now that is about energy efficiency and conservation. Now, what is your feeling about renewable energy? Okay, so we are all going here. We are going to reduce, once you use all this money, you're going to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So, and we are happy to know that even it has been promoted by uh, stalwarts like former president of India, Dr. APJ Kalam. Okay, and uh, we he mentioned about the energy independence by 2030 goal. That is going to be very challenging because India import 90% of whether it's oil, even coal is also imported. Okay, oil, gas, other things from the somewhere. So if we can increase power generation by renewable, even in 25% is going to be tremendous achievement. And Ministry of New and Renewable Energy is giving all necessary framework for that. Yes, all of us know, and I think next week, Engineer Deepak Gadia ji is going to discuss with you about solar energy. Okay, uh, PV photovoltaic is widely discussed now. They think it can provide some solution, but there is a but. First thing, it depends on imported solar cells. Now, what it means is when you install solar energy photovoltaic, you are shipping your jobs. So therefore, you have to think about whether you can manufacture solar cells. Second, its reliability is low. Efficiency is low, hardly at 20% or so, less than 20%. And because it is not that reliable, battery storage or equivalent is needed, which increases cost. So don't go by that something they say, oh, solar energy cost has gone down. No way. Because if they're only paying for whatever they say somebody else provide the storage, then it's different. So there is a still higher scope for research and development. It means those who are interested can bring in your student project, faculty project, funded project to address what? All these things I mentioned. Improve reliability, reduce maintenance, look for the better storage, low cost storage, increase efficiency, and obviously if you can find solar cells domestically manufactured, there is a tremendous scope. There is another technology about which engineer Deepak Gadiaji will tell you more about it. Now, what happens is now solar rays can come on the they call uh, parabola. These are like a mirrors, okay, and then heat is used to generate steam. Water is converted to steam, and then it after this it is a conventional power station. Yes, efficiency is better than solar PV, and according to engineer Deepak Gadiaji, that it can also give you more job. But obviously, whether it is solar PV or solar thermal, it takes large amount of space, and therefore one of the one of the ways to reduce how we can reduce this space, reduce it, make it smaller, and increase efficiency, then it would become viable comparatively. They say reliable comparatively compared to solar. And obviously, still you need still you need a storage for reliable electricity. So those who are in mechanical engineering, there is a tremendous scope for your research here: electrical, electronics, mechanical, and others. And you must have heard about is about the wind energy. Yes, comparatively cost effective, but again low reliability because it depends on the flow of wind. Wind direction, wind speed is not under our control. Requires maintenance is not easy. Okay, efficiency is still low. They say well, better than solar, but still low. It requires high space, and you need towers. So therefore, it is that way not that reliable. Therefore, there is a higher scope for research and development. So you can work on it. And one of them I will share with you. You can go. So obviously, kinetic energy, you've got wind turbine, you need a gearbox, induction generator. It is a variable one. You need an induction generator, make it 50 hertz. And obviously, you need equation. This equation will give you the so your output depends on wind speed predominantly and area. That is why you need a huge area. So there is so what they say they you need certain wind speed, then and then you can get electricity. Anything lower than 5 meters per second, output is not there. And therefore, for there is a scope how we can work on what is the design that can be done so that you get micro one. Otherwise, you need a higher wind speed. If not, so scope for micro wind turbines which can run on the lower wind speed. Different designs have been proposed. You can work on that. Then they can be installed on highways and when vehicles pass, they are generating some wind flow that can be used to generate electricity, which can maybe just power lighting, whatever it is, but it will be something better than nothing. So this way, if you can use some of the conventional available, now they are become conventional because solar, wind, and okay, the things I mentioned are they are becoming so common now. They are becoming from renewable but conventional one. Then you can replace whatever you saved here, you can invest, and now your load is reduced from 60, 40 to just maybe 30, just 30 kilowatt, 30 megawatt, whatever it is. So now you can say 70% saving. Now you can go for, so you, whatever you saved here, you invest here, again you save, you invest. So that way it will be more affordable. Systematic way is the engineering process. Another thing all of you know, because of climate change, whatever you call about it, nowadays when it rains, capital becomes a lake. Now there is a water energy. So obviously, the engineering problem must be solved. That is where your sanitation, your drainage system. There is a, those for those colleges which are in cities, they can take up such projects and show some demonstration. Obviously, we know the hydro, yes, bigger dams have been there, but now the scope is there for the micro level. They are talking about tidal way using small generator, another different design for the tidal. Okay, so tidal waves, different design. They can use for those colleges which are in the coastal area. You can use whatever the energy trapped in the seawater to generate electricity. Obviously, this is still is in early research phase. You can definitely use student projects, faculty projects, and even apply for the research funding. Yeah, one of the easier one they're talking about Pico Hydro, just 200 watt. Okay, 200 watt, 500 watts, which can be used even for whatever nearby waterfalls are there. They can use for these purposes. Okay, so choice is very clear. Yes, we are still relying on the coal, but then how we can quickly transfer or transit to the renewable energy. So do you want to continue destructive or sustainable? Jackass. Sustainable or destructive? Okay. A or B. Put your put your choice in chat box, A or B. Okay. A for destructive. B for jackass. Sustainable. Sustainable. So more and more types of clean and green energies are coming on board. So as a result, you can go further down from 30 to maybe just 15, 20 watts now. So major part is coming from now renewables. So this is how you systematically plan. So you have got 5-year plan. I'm giving you 5-year plan. You for your campus, you can do it in 2 year, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, 4 years, depending on your level where you are. You decide. Okay. Now, very quickly, what is it that is abundant in the world? You can put in chat box. What is it that is abundant in the world? Okay, obviously we know one is human energy. We see 7.5 billion people in India. Also, human energy is there. 1.3 billion people. Waste energy. We waste lot, and there is nothing short of spiritual energy. Okay, that is needed because of which all of us are existing. So let us talk about human energy. Okay, human energy, what how we utilize it. Okay, we are very happy to mention all of you are developing human capital. You are training students. You are educating them. So it is a human energy. You are transforming that to some better use. And obviously, there are some challenges because many graduates are coming, they're not getting jobs. So as a result, Edu Energy Singapore is helping many engineering colleges through IUCE Foundation, through One Energy Council, from International Energy Foundation, from IEEE, from CTF, you name it, okay, even IEEE, okay, for conducting what sustainable development program for students. I think one batch we already done it, next batch coming in January, Smart Clean Green Future. Exactly the webinar I'm giving you, I do the faculty development program systematically. You can all others things. We're transforming education so that you can include integrated multidisciplinary holistic education. let us know. And we are happy that now we are directly coming to you. Industry academic collaboration is possible because Deepak Gadich is there. I am from academic side now, but moved into uh, industry side, Edu Energy. So Edu Energy, Deepak Vaikar, Deepak Gadia from Sunrise Solar. Ajay also has got his own company, and that is our practice. So this is one of the ways we are helping in human resource development, and okay, and we are calling it energypreneurship program. We'll work with you. And we looked at it. What happens when your lungs are weak and why they have become weak? We know, okay, why they have become weak. Now, doctors, scientists are saying that whose lungs are weak, we have done it. Then whose, okay, blood sugar level is very high. जिनके खून में चीनी बहुत ज्यादा है. So we have seen जिनके फेफड़े कमजोर है, whose lungs are weak, we have seen what can be done. Now जिनके खून में चीनी बहुत ज्यादा है, what can be done? Okay, again, what are the challenges? All of us know that yes, ganna sugar cane. Sugar cane is the one which is grown, which okay, farmers produce it, and from that we produce sugar. From sugar there are many sweets, and we say kuch meetha ho jaye. Hi, let us have some sweets. I know it is very popular now. Just we had a Deepavali, lot of sweets. Festival, it is there. So another festival will come, then we'll have another sweets. Christmas comes, we'll have cakes, and we name it every time. So, but okay, what happens is when farmers produce sugar cane, it has converted to sugar. Sugar, there are sugar mills, but cost of sugar is going down. As a result, farmers are saying we are not getting MSP, and they are agitating. And we do know that let's have some sweet. Okay, कुछ मीठा हो जाए कहते कहते बहुत कुछ हो जाता है. We got lots and lots of sweet now. And look at the Bollywood copying Hollywood. Is it clean and green? Look at our IPL people, okay, those who okay cricket player who are okay supposed to be role idol for the students. What they are doing? Is it clean and green? This is where the mindset we have to train our students. Okay, is this kind of mindset they want to? This is shameful. We should not encourage this one. We should tell our student this is not appropriate, especially when in many developing countries people do not have even food to eat for one time. Sometimes okay. And in addition, because these people, okay, these are the one having okay and whose lifestyle is changed, they are what they are calling diabetic tsunami. So this is a bad effect about it, okay, because of our lifestyle. Okay, lifestyle, almost a half a billion people, adults have got diabetics worldwide. What we should do now? What can we do to improve the situation? Okay, thinking hat. You're thinking hat. What we can do? One of the ways. Okay, they say sugar cane to sugar, chini, गन्ने से चीनी या गन्ने से तेल. Sugar from sugar cane to sugar or sugar cane to biogas, ethanol or biodiesel. Choice is there. Okay, choice is there of how we do it. Obviously, this is if you want to do this, it is engineering process. Obviously, engineering process means what? Okay, if you take from sugar, take left turn, make sugar, diabetics, destructive bhakas. On the other hand, you convert into biogas, ethanol. There is a systematic engineering process. Engineers can do that one. There is blending required. There is a purification, fermentation, all of the crop and fuel station. And then this fuel station along with the battery, you have got hybrid vehicle. Okay, as we have seen it now, they are not going to phase out bio, diesel and petrol. So therefore, if they're not going to phase it out, they need time for do that. Meanwhile, transition hybrid vehicles can be a reasonable good choice. So it's a step towards synergizing energy and transportation. So I'm giving you one more topic. All of you can do, those who can do the study, okay, research paper, this can be a part of the symposium. Step towards synergizing energy and transportation. So we have seen now two things: whose lungs are weak, what we should do, who's okay, blood sugar level is high, then what can be done, how we can divert that energy, and now very important on whose heart doesn't want to work. This ka din, din ka dil kam chore, part doesn't want to work. Then how? Okay, waste energy. It goes to waste. What we should do? We know. Now we are hearing Delhi is choking and they are blaming. They say, okay, farmers are burning in Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, and Haryana is causing okay hazardous air in Delhi. Yes, people they are burning their garbage and it is hazardous gases. Okay, poisonous gases. They travel. Yes, it is true. They travel. Yeah. So question arises, what we want to do about it? If okay, if we can use this waste product into a digester. Okay, using again technology, using a technology, bio waste, using a technology. Okay, to generate what is known as a gas, biogas that can be used for combined heat power unit. Biogas, whatever comes from here again sent back here again and recycled one and can be used for district heating, especially in the cold countries, probably that mean okay, or for if the district heating can be used for the some factories also for their products, they need to be dried up, okay, and then also can produce electricity and feed to the grid. Whatever the waste product comes in can be used as a biofertilizer, okay, manure can be converted into biofertilizer, pump back here, okay, whatever manure comes in, pump back using technology, go over here, bio waste brought in, go over here. So bio-waste to energy could be one of the possible alternative. And they say bio-waste is renewable because it is happening almost every day. All of us are producing it. So choice is for us first, do we want to burn waste or and leave it into the air or burn it and make them digest and use them into electricity. Smart, clean and green future. Bio-waste to energy. Choice is yours. Definitely, there is scope for several student projects. This is a multidisciplinary project. Multidisciplinary project. And if you combine with other ways, okay, instead of burning it, you are dumping a lot of waste in dump. Okay, it includes most of the countries. Okay, now one part you can convert into electricity, gas, and electricity. Other part you can by waste can be converted into biodiesel. Biodiesel. So choice is yours. A, destructive way. B, sustainable way. So if you add this, then you got now you are getting more and more from renewables because you are reduced first. You reduce by energy efficiency only. You are taking very small, maybe okay from the electricity grid. That is what now next phase will be. So though if you are depends on wherever you are. If you are here, you go for here. If you are here, go for here. If you are here, then don't stop there. There is still scope because IEEE has come up with the hybrid AC-DC microgrid. This is a multidisciplinary project. Okay, you have got AC bus, DC bus. You have got AC devices and DC devices. What they say, your AC devices uh, at home and DC devices in the home. So what you can do is you can get from supply from main grid, but that will be only when you require it. Otherwise, predominantly we can use renewables. Okay, from wind, from electric vehicle when they are not being used in the night, they can be used to, right? You charge it, daytime you use it. Same thing, solar batteries are charged and they're ready to feed. Then there is a coupler here. We have got DC devices which can be fed by DC grid, DC microgrid, whether it's your television, your notebook, your handphone, and others, they work on DC. So they say, why not have those devices in household which has got DC, use DC. Those who are AC, use AC. That is what the IEEE standard. Okay, it is the IEEE standards. Therefore, each institute, each college, if you have it, microgrid, congratulations. If you don't have it, time to get it. Because it is a multidisciplinary, it requires power electronics, so it requires electrical thing, it requires mechanical thing, compressor. So it is a flywheel. I can show you it is a multidisciplinary project if you decide to have hybrid AC DC microgrid as per the IEEE standards, which is available now. Electrical required, control systems, mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, civil also required, automotive engineering, mechanical. Some of them are saying our mechanicals are facing challenges. So computers, instrumentation, you name it, is ICT communication. Right? So there. So by installing this type of microgrid in your campus, you are giving opportunity for student to learn, learning space. You're creating a learning space. All the projects I mentioned, it is creating learning space. At the same time, you're solving the problem. And not only that, you now once you are interconnected, you can have multiple microgrid and then they will start. Obviously, they will require IIoT, latest technology, a lot of data coming in, data analytics, communication, 5G is coming. You can experiment it, put there some devices and try it out. Yes, your cloud also is there. And as I mentioned, even AI, ANN. Okay, you must have seen CNN, now ANN, artificial neural network, machine learning, deep learning, cyber security. All these can be incorporated. So your students from all the branch can have small projects, individual projects. Okay, each of them will, mechanical guys will be giving these projects. Okay, civil guys will be doing this project, chemical. So you can combine, you as a in charge, okay, having a holistic knowledge about it, coordinate. This could be multidisciplinary project for you, which is in line with national education policy, line with the AICT, and this is what industry also wants it. And students learn a lot from it. You can create project, you can create internship here also. So is there a scope for hope, or am I talking pipe dream? Let's see. Obviously, future possibilities are still there. Some of them are working on zero emission hydrogen vehicles. Okay, hydrogen vehicles, what they say, use hydrogen as instead of other catalytic, okay, other catalytic electrolytes, hydrogen is used, okay, and then your catalyst, it goes to the catalyst, you have got anode and cathode, it will generate electricity, okay, through this one, electricity. And what they found that byproduct is water. So compared to other emissions, it is going to have this is zero emission. Water can be reused. Wherever there is shortage of water, you get water also. And this can be used in bus. They call zero emission vehicle, hydrogen power. Obviously, now this is going on, but is expensive. Therefore, there is a scope for R and D. Tremendous scope for student project, for faculty project. You can get a funded project. You name it. You work it on and get it done. Industry, collaboration with the industries also. And I shared earlier also, so India has energy strategy now 2020, okay, towards gas-based economy, clean use of fossil fuels. So I have already mentioned about earlier. We used to say this in many webinars, many conferences, research paper. Now, by 2030, we are going to go for that. Cleaner, greater reliance on domestic biofuels. 450 gigawatt of renewable energy by 2030. It could be wind, solar, other hydro, whatever you micro hydro, you just name it. Electricity to decarbonize mobility, electric vehicles, moving into emerging fuels like hydrogen. So all these, whatever I mentioned, is you just take it as a project and obviously apply digital innovation across energy system. This is the big data analytics, cybersecurity, you name it, AI. If you follow the 7 pillars, and I'm sure when you create your projects and mention into your project reports, mention into your funding report that this project is in line with these are the initiatives of the India, chances of you getting funding are high. Well, let us look what global players are saying. Okay, one of the studies, Shell study, they say now focus more on energy efficiency and renewable energy. That is what I mentioned today for mitigating the effects of greenhouse gases. And ideally, they feel that the potential for renewable energy to be primary source of energy. BP. What is BP? Please go and find it out. What is BP? What they are saying is, yes, at present we are using more coal, more natural gas, and I don't know why they put green oil, but oil is oil. Very less hydrogen, nuclear is also there, and somehow they put red as renewables. Very small. Okay, now also compared to total is very small. And what they say, they are saying if we do not do anything, then we are going to be like this, in which oil will continue to dominate, natural gas to continue to dominate. Yes, coal you might reduce, but coal will be still there, nuclear will be still there, hydro you might increase, and there will be some increment in renewables. But you can see percentage of this is hardly 20-25%. So then what can be done? That is what now they are talking about. Okay, net zero. Okay, net zero. They are mentioning India say net zero by 2070, wherein then renewables will be still higher, coal will be down from here to here, less coal. Your natural gas will be down, oil will be down. So your dependence on your fossil fuel will reduce if you go for 2050 or more. Okay, India 2070. That is net zero is, but so net zero you're not able to do it, then it will be like this one. We might be somewhere oil is here, natural gas is here, coal here reduce, nuclear to increase, and hydro is there, and then it might be rapid deployment. So still around 50%. So they are talking about it might become 50-50 or 70-30 or 60-40. All depends on how you do it. We want to do it smartly in a sustainable, market-driven, accountable, successful, transformative way, in which now we have discussed how campus load can be reduced from 100 dominated by fossil energy imported one to you can have 100% clean energy systematically, not directly. Energy efficiency, all those things I mentioned. And if you have got scope after you do your studies and everything, you have got more, then you can start exporting and earn some revenue. So green economy, you can create jobs, earn some revenue. Okay, let me share with you Singapore case study, which doesn't have any natural resources, a small city state, high population density, dependent on imported fossil fuels, lack of natural resources. Only resource they have got is human resources. Singapore has decided by 2030, obviously they want to decide 4 switches. One, obviously natural gas will be dominant, but natural gas prices have gone up, so prices electricity going up. So they are thinking of something to do, something about it. Solar deployment by 2030, they want to have almost 2 gigawatt peak. Okay, installment, most of the rooftops they want to put it. Connect with regional power grids, which have been there, but is still challenge one. Low carbon alternatives, I mentioned carbon capture. Okay, and use of hydrogen. That's about hydrogen is green hydrogen they are talking about. Obviously, you have got other types of hydrogen. Energy efficiency is one of the dominant in Singapore. And obviously, they're involving government, researchers, industry together to get it. But okay, no more new diesel car taxis in Singapore from 2025. That is the decision they made it in March. Let us hope what they can do about it, how they can convert these into electric vehicles. Obviously, for charging electric vehicles, whether you want to use fossilized fuel or you want to use solar. So this is also another projects you can do, study, okay, fossilized fuel versus solar, but how much electricity it is consumed and how much greenhouse gases you can reduce. All of us know sustainable development goal, they have been mentioned last time, defined as the, okay, that meets the needs of the present, not greed, without compromising ability of the future generation to meet their own needs, not greed. These two are very important, which they are included, then it becomes powerful. Otherwise, not. Yes, there are 17, 18 are also coming. Today we focus on affordable, clean and green energy. Dominated by that, we also focus on some industry applications, smart cities, as well as quality education. So we are using that one. And this is how we can transform from the current situation in a n number of years. Okay, n number of years, probably 10 years, 20 years, clean, green, and green economy and jobs, internship jobs, green jobs, which can use energy efficiency, also use of your green campuses, waste management, and circulation of economy, renewables appropriately. So clean, green economy and jobs. That is what is there. My question to all of you is that is Make in India, Digital India, Smart City, Swachh Bharat, self-reliant, Atmanirbhar vision feasible without quality, secure and reliable availability of smart, clean and green energy? You can put your answer in chat box. If you ask me, not possible. I say not possible without. Okay. So that is what I mentioned to you about the vision of smart, clean and green energy future. Okay. I have privilege, I mentioned to you, I have privilege to work in this field for almost more than 25 years in various aspects of electrical energy, bringing in to the green technologies at various places based on my research, my studies. Okay, I have written several research paper on that. Also, I have supervised some thesis, and also I have been examiners for the thesis also on this area. And happy to get mention that I have been given the Green Buddy Award for my contribution to green development using energy, using technology. And that is where our Edu Energy focuses on sustainable, clean, and green development. Okay. Net zero pollution, net zero waste, net zero energy at its best. Net zero pollution, net zero waste, net zero energy at its best, make them part of everyday routine. Keep our surroundings clean and green. So whatever this was I wrote around 20 August 2020, almost more than a year now. Now in COP26, they're talking about net zero. So I'm happy that now that has been taken up. All of you can have this kind of research project now. Net zero will be a good project to work on. And what you can do, not only in your campuses, you can do in your home, in your society, in your colony, in your village, in your town, wherever you like. Then that is what is your action plan? What is your action plan? Well, I have mentioned to you, you can prepare your research proposal, technical case study, article, feasibility report, whatever is you feel is useful to somebody to share and submit at the submit it at the symposium. We are going to give you opportunity very soon. And most importantly, to become passionate, passionate clean and green champion. So, what is your feeling about the term smart, clean, and green learning spaces? Remember, we are going to create learning spaces, not just for sake of putting something there and getting only one-time article news. Learning spaces. Whatever I mentioned, okay, now green hydrogen is coming for Indian Railways to run trains based on hydrogen technology. India to make green hydrogen mandatory for users. Yes, in August they publish. Yes, they're talking about net zero, also start combating climate change. So whatever I have mentioned here is yellow been taken. So hydrogen zero emission. Hydrogen is also there. So this is one of the topics you can start doing research because now they have started applying it, but cost is still high. Safety requirement, other things you can work it out. What are the things needed for this and apply. जाएगा अंधेरा, this dark clouds will glow. आएगा नए सवेरा, silver linings will come. फिर झूम उठेगा एक किनारा, then one, only one slogan will be there, will arise. Only one slogan will arise. What is that? स्वच्छ ऊर्जा से हरा भरा हो जगसरा. Let whole world be filled with clean and green energy. Om Purnamidam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Shistate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. With this one, I invite you to use green technology, green transportation, clean energy, and travel. We're taking you to the one of the clean and green airport. You are at the departure hall. You're using technology which is using green energy. Automatically, your passport has been scanned, your luggage has been boarded there. You are using your smartphone QR code. You are ready to board, take your flight. So after visiting, wonderful, okay, smart cities, clean, green, smart cities. You are traveling to your own places to create an synergy. All the best to you. Thank you very much. That is what smart, clean, and green energy future we are discussing about it, which is a part of enhancing clean and green learning spaces in and around campus. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity to share with you some of my views. And if you have any further questions or something, you can put in chat box or later on write into the canvas and I will try to answer them. If I am feeling well, I will deliver this webinar in person. Otherwise, please go through this one and we will discuss later on. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day ahead. Okay. With this one, I am returning you back to the respective places. Have a nice evening.